The round goby is a small, bottom-dwelling, real turd bag of a fish, but don't let its small size fool you. This species has become one of the most aggressive and successful aquatic invaders in North America. Originally native to the Black and Caspian Seas in Eastern Europe, the round goby made its way to North America around 1990. Stop and think about that. This is only 35 years ago that this fish has, in the shortest amount of time, become one of the most problematic species that American fisheries, especially northern Great Lakes fisheries, has to contend with. It was originally discovered in the St. Clair River, just north of Windsor, Ontario, where scientists believe it arrived hidden in the ballast water, a common story of large cargo ships crossing the Atlantic. It quickly escalated. In less than a decade, the round goby spread through all 5 Great Lakes, and it hasn't stopped. Today it continues to push into inland rivers and lakes, expanding its range year after year. In some nearshore areas, populations have exploded to more than 100 fish per square meter of lake bottom. That's bonkers. Round goby thrive in rocky and sandy habitats where they aggressively hunt for food along the bottom. This is exactly what we've encountered in the St. Louis and the Nemadji rivers, where they feed on insects, small organisms, fish eggs, and even other, especially small, recently hatched fry of other sports fish. And while these little fart faces are clearly a triple threat, the most concerning, in fact, is the rate at which they consume such high volumes of other fish eggs. When we've encountered them, it's been during and post-spawn in both, smallmouth and walleye spawning territory. I am particularly terrified to encounter them in trout spawning territory. However, I have not thus far encountered one of these that far upstream. I do not believe there's any reason to imagine that they would not end up there. But wait, it gets worse. Not only are they the triple threat I mentioned, feeding on the forage of other native species, as well as predating the eggs and fry of our native species, they in fact are a true invasive because they displace another fish that occupies the exact same niche, however is not so aggressive, our native sculpin. Now, at this point, we've already gone quite a few degrees and dimensions deep into this being a very problematic fish, but as the sculpin isn't really a commonly recognizable fish to the average fisherman, and yet fishermen have also been taught about the problem of the goby, there is this trouble with mistaken identity that occurs, that a fisherman catches one of the native sculpin species, becomes alarmed, and goes to intentionally exterminate that fish, thinking that it's an invasive species, and is now, that's not a double-edged sword. That's we're 3 dimensions deep into really kicking the holes in native biological communities. The sculpin's very important. It is a top forage species for brown trout, walleye, northern, and a lot of our other muskie, a lot of our other sports fish. Hence, we need to protect the sculpin. Now, again, I don't even know how many degrees deep we are into these being a problem, but the gobies have every possible advantage with metabolism, that they grow faster and produce more young. A very troubling invasive species. Even where there could have been the smallest of trade-offs, where this invasive species actually does predate another invasive species, the zebra mussel, it's not even a win in this case. The goby now becomes a vector for botulism outbreaks in the Great Lakes. The toxin moves through the food chain, moving from zebra mussels to gobies to fish and birds, potentially leading to die-offs across the ecosystem and even contamination in humans. Identifying a round goby is key to stopping its spread. These fish are typically between 2 and 6 inches long, a cylindrical body, and a blunt, rounded head. One of the most distinctive features is a black spot on the first dorsal fin. I've seen this very consistently with the ones I've caught. It's the easiest way to differentiate them with a sculpin. They also have fused pelvic fins that form a suction-like disc. This is a great way to identify them. It's an interesting feature, honestly, helping them to cling to rocks and moving water. However, we don't care, because these fish right here, they can go to HE double hockey sticks. Their coloration is usually brown or olive with darker spots, but during spawning, males can turn almost completely black. They can look similar to native sculpins generally speaking, but the invasive tube-nosed goby is especially difficult because that species lacks the signature black dorsal spot, and sculpins do not have the spots, any of them. The easiest way to differentiate sculpins from goby is that sculpins do not have the fused pelvic fins. Because of the damage they cause, strict rules are in place. It is illegal to possess any type of goby, round or otherwise, as live bait. Transporting or releasing live fish into new waters is one of the fastest ways a species spread and to get yourself a real nasty ticket. Easiest way to prevent it is if you catch one, don't release it alive. I think we understand what that means. And if you see round goby or the other invasive tube-nosed goby in a new location, reporting it can make a real difference in tracking and managing their spread. The blunt, ugly truth of the round goby is that it is a reminder of how quickly ecosystems can change and how something so small can have massive consequences.